Hello my friends and welcome back to another watercolor tutorial. I'm just changing out my water because it's red and I am painting a blue painting, so that just will not work. So I've done similar backgrounds to what we're about to do. This is inspired by Deepening, and it's a Christmas tree in this blue setting, and I've done these kinds of blue settings before, so hopefully it'll work out in the same way. So we're gonna start out with we need to make the center very bright, so I'm gonna take just water. I have water. I know it's really hard to see, but we'll just do that. Then I'm gonna pick up like a baby blue and just hopefully I have it around where I painted the water. And then I'm gonna just pick up like more intense baby blue. Something like that, and then I'm gonna go like straight into a more intense blue. I want the top to have some as well, like so, and then move into the navy blue. And then I would do like that same blue with black added to it. Like so. And then I want to have definitely some of that darkness up top here. So we might have to modify this a tad bit. I probably should have painted this in portrait position, but hindsight. We'll probably do a second layer to even this out, because right now this is looking a bit blotchy, to put it one way. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna let this dry. I made a last minute decision. We are gonna switch this to portrait position because it is still wet. It is still wet. So if you followed along, you can still salvage this. Just pull out some of your color from one side and add a bit of baby blue. And I'm just gonna try and pull out a bunch of color from all around to make it nice and bright. And we're gonna let this dry and then kind of redo it again. So let's let this dry. So this should be dry, and I'm gonna basically do the same thing again. So I'm taking my baby blue and going just around the sides like this. And then I'm gonna go into, sorry, the nice bright blue, or the more intense blue rather. And then go into the navy. And then really quickly rinse your brush so that there's just water on it, and we're going to blend this out. And I am going to try my best to make that center nice and bright. And what you can do, if you want, is take like watered down baby blue. I have like nowhere on my palette to water this down. And kind of have some of it dragging from the top as a little wisp. If you want to be bold, I don't know if I would recommend this actually, because I don't know how I feel about it. Okay, maybe don't do that, because that did not end up looking very nice. I wanted it to be like kind of the northern lights, and that clearly didn't work out for us. So we're gonna let this dry before we move on to the next step. So I really hope this is dry. We're gonna take navy blue, can add a bit of black to it if you want it to be even darker. And we're gonna paint the base here. So it's gonna come like this from the sides, maybe a bit. Maybe it'll come down like this on the one side. I don't know, I'm just experimenting here. And then I want to lighten it a little bit as we go towards the center where it's nice and bright. So I have just water on my paintbrush as I blend these two together. So that looks quite nice, I think. We can even add a little baby blue in there. Okay. And I also want to, if you dare, I don't want to dare, put grassy strains or something. I'm not gonna do that because I don't have confidence in my abilities. But now we're gonna paint the evergreen tree or the pine tree. So I'm gonna start at the top, probably around here, and I'm gonna kind of paint a line and then two shorter lines just below joining, and then another two lines below that. And about the third layer is when I'm gonna start adding a bit more texture to each branch. So I draw down a section, paint a line, and then paint a bunch of hairline thin, or trying to at least, kind of drooping down. And then I paint my next section. And then once again, try and thicken those branches like that. And then like, there isn't really a method to it. You just kind of thicken it as you go. So go down a little more. Sort of like that. Now, when we get to the bottom, so I'm just gonna pre-paint my little tree trunk here. I'm gonna have some branches drooping downwards, because that's what I haven't done that before, and I realized that that's probably why a lot of my trees were not looking so realistic, because not all the branches swoop upwards. Like when you get to the bottom, those are big, heavy, old branches. So they're not going to be as, you know, flowy towards the sky. So I'll show you what I mean in a moment. So right about now, I'm going to have a branch starting to slope down instead of up. And even more so on the other side. They don't all have to be symmetrical. Just keep that in mind when you're painting. Not everything has to be symmetrical. So my tree is looking a little bit sparse. I'm not used to that. Let's see if we can, I have just water on my paintbrush, and I'm just like putting water in some sections to kind of, I don't want to say thicken them because that's not the intention, but just to add like volume to it, because right now it was not as happy. And you can even take white acrylic paint and add white to the tops for snow if you want to experiment a little bit. We're going to be using the white acrylic paint anyway in a moment. This just gives you another use for it. I'll even have some at the base of the tree. And I'm tempted to line this mound with some snow. Okay. Now, I'm gonna give this tree a star. So, gosh, I'm always nervous about painting stars and moons. I'm not very good at them. Just picture a starfish and paint that on top of your tree. Or you don't have to paint anything on top of your tree. So I've got a little star there. You can barely see it because it should have been like more in the dark part. And the other thing is, in the reference photo, she sort of has these hanging lights. So I'm watering down my acrylic paint a little bit just so it's easier to paint with a liner brush. And I'll have one swoop like this. I'm gonna water it down even more. And then I'm gonna have another swoop like this, and then one a little bit lower. that. And a string of lights just hanging down from here. Oh, I'm just gonna darken this. So a string just hanging down like this. And then we have to add our little lights. So light, 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 light. I'm basically just dotting them next to the string. Light. Light. And you can dot as many as you want, like you don't have to dot them all, you don't have to dot any, like you can just have hanging strings if you wish, but oh boy, I think I have like a dehumidifier going, and it's so loud when it's operating, and when it reaches the humidity level that we want, it kind of shuts down, but it's so abrupt from being so loud to so quiet. Okay, now we have lots of options here. We can technically just leave it as is, of course. Alternatively, we can add falling snow to this, which I'm very tempted to do. But before, yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. But before we do that, I'm gonna take just some navy blue again, and just to some branches, doesn't have to be all of them. I want to add a little bit of whatever you call this. I'm just adding darker areas. Okay, that's good enough. I don't want to overdo it. So now I'm going to take my paintbrush. I'm going to water it down in the acrylic paint and tap it against a brush to make it snow. And make it all magical. I may have overdone it, like the snow with the lights might be a little bit much, but it is what it is. So let me know what you guys think of this tutorial. I'm just gonna peel the tape off. I thought it was a fun little quick, not really quick, but it was a fun little painting. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I will be sure to see you in the next one.